taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who has done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner, given by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Did I say that right at the beginning? Maybe I did. Let me do that again. 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 fathers, dads, and male caregivers since 2020. As always, like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. It is the Morning Vibe, Monday, September 23rd. I think today is the first full day of, I was going to say summer. I was going to say, no, autumn, or what they call fall in the Western Hemispheres. And in Toronto, yeah, it has cooled down, had some rain. I was early this morning. I know it's like maybe 3 o'clock this morning. I got woken up by rain, but hey, that's not a bad thing at all. For those who are usually around, Ryan Knight, my co-host, is not with us today. He's actually on his way to Ottawa, Canada's national capital, for some meetings or for some stuff. So Ryan will not be with us this morning. But hey, that's no problem. Let's get some housework done. First of all, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And I want to say thank you. We've hit 1,560 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So my next ask, let's hit 1,570 subscribers on the YouTube channel. That's what I'd love to see next. So again, thank you. Please, as always, share it out. Share it out. Also follow what we do on the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on our show, please feel free to email me at dr.vibe@dr.vibe.show.com and join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@dr.vibe.show.com, where we can continue the conversation during the week in between shows, Monday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And cannot forget also Indie Soup Media TV, which is powered by our good friend, Dr. Tachi, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's an independent content creators network. It's about 40 independent content creators. And now in about 6 months, they have about 17,500 YouTube subscribers. How do I know that? Well, Dr. Tachi was on Saturday night, this past Saturday, on Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Aisha was not there, Aisha K. Staggers, because actually I want to say happy birthday today, September 23rd, to Aisha K. Staggers, a longtime friend and contributor to the Dr. Vibe Show. So happy birthday, Aisha. And Lala Key was there. But so with Aisha not being there, Dr. Tachi stepped in and did an amazing job, had amazing engagement. But check out more also at Indie Soup Media. And one of the programs you see on that platform is this one, an edited version. So what was I went up over the weekend myself? I had a relaxing weekend, actually. On Saturday, visited some very good friends, husband and wife. The wife's father just recently transitioned as 94 years old. So just doing condolences, spending some quality time. I'm actually going to be attending the funeral coming up this weekend. Going to be one of the pallbearers. We had a really good, it was good to just hang out with good people for like 4 or 5 hours and just relax and chat. And yesterday, just hung out, had some food that I usually don't eat. Some, I guess, Chinese, Caribbean food. Yesterday, just hung out, did a show Saturday night, as I mentioned, with Dr. Tachinlaw. And then yesterday we had Cesar Nadima Musa on Black Canada Talking, and he was wow. But the nice thing, a lot of people came in yesterday, Sunday afternoon show, Black Canada Talking, had some new people come in. So always like the new people coming in, and it was a really robust conversation. So it was good. It was good. And I think now people are settling in, getting back into their, I guess in this part of the world, the fall, the school routine, summer's over. I think, don't know if we'll get another hit of summer weather in Toronto like we did over the last week and a half. It was nice, sunny every day, warm, not too much humidity, but at nighttime you could actually sleep with, well, at least for me, could sleep with the window open. So that's all good. So if you're especially watching live, chime in, tell us where you are chiming in from. Would love to know, like to see a hello, whatever's going on. And that's about it. Of course, people are still talking about Diddy being arrested. Actually, that was part of one of the main parts of the conversation on Black Canada Talking yesterday and on Prime Time with Isha and Lala on Saturday night. So a lot of people had a lot of commentaries on it. We'll see what happens next. Diddy was denied bail, saying the judge said he was a flight risk because he maybe would desert and not come back. So we'll see what happens with that. We will see what happens with that. And not hearing too much lately about the U.S. presidential election. It's been quiet, but it's not that far away. And in I think 3 or 4 states in America, you can start voting. So I don't just sit, even though I'm based in Toronto, I just say I don't just talk about Toronto things. This is a global audience and a global platform. So this is what we do. Let's see who's here. Someone has chimed in. Hey, JJ Mars from Colorado. Good morning. How are you, JJ Mars? How are things in the US of A? He is one of the go-to people I touch base with when I find out what's going on in the United States. JJ Mars, very faithful attendee of a lot of the live conversations I do, especially the Morning Vibe and Prime Time with Ish and Lala. He's based in Colorado. So always interested to hear what's going on in the Colorado vibe with JJ Mars. So that is good. And it seems a little quiet this morning, but it's okay. Okay, but we have a brand new friend for the Morning Vibe coming to you in a few moments. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, especially, you need to be listening. And I think we also got a little announcement too before he leaves. Let's see. JJ Mars says, doing well. Nice Colorado fall day here. Yeah, we have a nice fall. I don't know what it is. It's not cold. It's not hot. So I think we're expecting rain on and off today, but good to have you, JJ Mars. As I was saying, we have a new friend for the Morning Vibe that's going to be on in a few moments. I've known him for a little bit. He appeared on one of my other platforms, I think maybe Black Canada Talking a number of years ago. But I said, hey, got to bring him to the Morning Vibe. And I think if all things going good, you're going to see more of him because he has information that is useful for you. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, and we'll have a new friend for the Morning Vibe, and I think a new friend for many of you. So hold it tight for 30 seconds. Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Join Aisha K. Staggers and Laura. Primetime Saturday with Aisha. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties here. This is Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Join Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala Key as they cut through the chaos and make some sense of the nonsense in American news and politics.
People are expecting Obama-level eloquence out of a man who's always talked like this.
Sharp insights, bold opinions, and a touch of humor. It's the show that keeps you informed and entertained.
There's no way that Trump is going to debate her.
Don't miss Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Tune in and stay ahead of the headlines. All right. I didn't know if that was going to run or not because I have a number of different spots and I was clicking, and it wasn't going through. So I said, okay, let me click on another spot. It went through. Yes. So as always, check out Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala and some other things there. We're working on some new things on the Dr. Vibe platform. So keep it locked with me. Keep following me, whether it's on YouTube's probably the best, but Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, we got working on some new things because we don't like to keep you bored. Mignon Cam says good morning, and speak about that. Mignon Cam will be with you on this platform this Friday. So I got your email, Mignon Cam. Haven't gone through all of it yet, but looking forward to seeing you on Friday, where she gives her lens on her continuing journey in regards to financial independence mindset coming from a disabled lens. So make sure you check it out this Friday. All right, as I mentioned, not a new friend for me, but maybe a new friend for a lot of you. How many people need help mastering money? How many people need help mastering taxes? So we have a new friend on the Morning Vibe, and I've known him for a few years. We were introduced through an organization to each other, and the hard work that he's done for many, especially African Canadians, when it comes to financial management, especially if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, has been helpful to many people of African Canadian descent across this country. Really pleased to have him here because he brings a lot of good perspective. And if all things are going right, you're going to, starting this month, maybe see him on a monthly basis talking about things in regards to money, business mindset, financial acumen when it comes to being an entrepreneur or running a business. So welcome to the Morning Vibe family for the first time. Sean De Freitas, CPA. He's going to be hanging out with us today. Good morning, Sean. How are we doing?
Good morning, Dr. Vibe. I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Outstanding. Great to have you here. We finally made it happen. It's taken a little bit of time.
It has.
But it's been so worth it.
Absolutely.
It's definitely worth the wait. And everyone who's watching live on replay, I feel very confident it's going to be worth the wait, and you're going to want Sean back. So looking forward to it. Mignon Cam says, being a good money manager is a skill that I've mastered in the last 6 years. Well, if you've mastered, doesn't it take a lifetime to master it? I don't know about 6 years, but that's a whole other conversation. So, Sean, really happy to have you on the Morning Vibe and joining our family. Before we get deep into our conversation topic today, can you share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, and absolutely be very happy to do that. I'm a founder and a business owner. I am passionate and enthusiastic about accounting and finance. I'm a CPA. I work in this profession because I really enjoy helping and supporting people and the companies that I interact with. I enjoy industry. I really like talking shop. I intentionally ensure that my advice and the support that I provide is really focused and geared towards adding value and really providing, strong, solid support to improve the situations and the individuals that I come into contact with. During the 20 years that I've held a professional accounting designation, I've seen.
Oh, you're only 25. All right, man. You look good, brother. 25 years old. That's all right.
Thank you. Yeah, I've seen time and time again that no project can really get off the ground and remain sustainable without there being tight control and a solid methodology applied to the numbers. There's lots of stereotypes about accountants. I absolutely fit none of those. The truth for accountants is very different to the stereotype. Accountants need to develop skills such as innovation, commercial awareness, communication, resilience. These skills have really helped me to operate and manage in an ever-evolving business world and to provide fresh ideas and solutions.
Just a little bit more of your personal background. What got you into this role of being a CPA?
I always enjoyed business and, had from a young age, wanted to get involved in business management. So I, took a few courses after school at college around business management and accounting and finance. and the accounting and finance component, really spoke to me. Accounting really is at the heart of the business. Most decisions that are made have a cost implication. So, the accountant has some oversight of what's happening. So yeah, that's really what drew me in.
Excellent. Meeting on Cam has a statement here. Interesting. I'd like to see what you have to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't a lot of things to understand with money when you know your personal situation. What are your thoughts on that statement?
There's not a lot to understand when you know your personal situation. I would need a little more context.
Yeah, I would think so too. I would think so too. I'll say good morning, Opal Inspired. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. I'm not Instagram, YouTube, as she grows her YouTube base. Let me bring this here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Okay, let me go this before we get in. Over the last, entrepreneurship
mm-hmm.
has been a hype word, especially over the last 5 or 6 years in the African Canadian community.
Mm-hmm.
What is your lens on entrepreneurship in the African Canadian community over the last few years?
That it's strong. It continues to grow from strength to strength. There's definitely a variety of individuals who are, throwing their hat into the ring and doing it in a considered and measured way. And it's across a variety of industries. Most recently, I was in contact with an entrepreneur who's establishing a innovative solution to charge electric vehicles. So, where you've got these condo buildings and these underground car parks.
Well, hold on a second. You and I have to chat offline because this sounds. I met a person who's doing the same thing about 5 or 6 months ago. So after this is finished, I'm interested to know. Okay, let me ask you: is he of South Asian background?
No.
Okay,
it's from our community.
He has competition, so we'll talk. I know. Okay, I know someone who's been doing that.
Yeah.
I met him at an event a few months ago, and his business was flourishing.
Yeah.
To the point where condo owners are providing him references of other condo owners to do that.
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely an area that's going to evolve where more and more individuals, do take that make that choice to work with electric. I'm not one of them. A petrol heads and will remain so. They're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming to the electric side of the fence.
No problem. Well, I interrupt you about the gentleman you were talking about.
No worries. So yeah, it's a really innovative solution, and it's just really to show you, the arenas and the areas that people from our community are stepping into, sort of moving out from, quote unquote, some of the more traditional areas where you would, I wouldn't say you typically see Black entrepreneurs, because we pop up in all circles, all shapes and forms.
Okay. You wanted to come on for your first time, and hopefully the first of many, and chat today about what business owners and managers need to things they need to do before the year ends and how to prepare for next year. Why did you want to chat about that subject?
Some of the business owners that I come into contact with are, very much steeped in working kind of in the business. But there comes a time where, as a business owner, you need to step back and begin to work on the business. And I think that some of these activities that I'll discuss definitely speak to, to that mindset of working on the business, really understanding what's working well, things that can be done and actions that can be taken to improve the business, to grow the business. So some of these activities speak to that. Really wanting business owners to finish the calendar year strong, and then to begin to focus on closing the finances.
Okay. And I had an idea in advance for me. Okay. I'm sure it'll come back to me. In regards to this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, now I remember. You talked about entrepreneurs and business owners working in their business, not on their business.
Mm-hmm.
How common of a challenge is that with the entrepreneurs and business owners you deal with?
Very common, very, very common. It's through wanting to, and some of the mindset, because it's even something I'm constantly having to work on, through wanting to provide services. There can be a sense of kind of micromanagement, and wanting to ensure that the client is fully serviced. So you get involved in some of the more day-to-day activities, some of the tactical items, ensuring that client receives that gold star package, in terms of the product as well, ensuring that's what comes out is in the best way, shape and form as we can make it. But sometimes we've got to assign responsibilities to those around us and hold them accountable, kind of give them the tools, give them the autonomy, and ensure that they're able to go on and to deliver against the criteria that you've set, and then that allows you to get on with other things. So it's very common.
Okay. I have a whole pile of questions, but it sounds like you have some things you want to talk about. So I'm going to let you chat, and then I will fill in along the way. So go ahead on what you're wanting to share with our family today.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Vibe. Yeah, again, just really, wanting business owners to really focus on some of the activities for finishing the calendar year strong. Really wanting businesses to focus on, financial closing. Let's start putting perhaps some tax planning strategies and tactics into play. Let's review key performance metrics and then prepare for 2025. Let's look at strategy. Let's start undertaking some strategic planning. Have you completed a budget? Have you budgeted for 2025? We absolutely want to ensure that the business remains compliant. I want to ensure that from a CRA viewpoint, returns are being filed, GST, HST, T2 returns, as well as our own personal returns. And whilst we're ensuring that compliance is there, we want to focus on growth. We want to look towards potential market expansion. What sorts of innovation can we introduce into the business that not only will impact what we're up to from a day-to-day viewpoint, but perhaps some innovative solutions that we can offer to the marketplace. And then from that viewpoint, have product and service differentiation. So let's start out by talking about finishing the calendar year strong and some of those activities. So we want to review and close out our financials. So we're going to ensure that all our bank accounts, credit cards and loans, if we have any, and any other financial accounts are reconciled. So what that means is looking through and reviewing transactions, be it QuickBooks, be it Zoho, whatever bookkeeping tool we're using. We want to make sure that those accounts contain all of the transactions across the various categories that have been incurred during the year. Have we not received invoices? We know We've provided some services, but perhaps maybe we haven't been billed for those. Do we need to put in any accruals? Have we prepaid any amounts? So for instance, insurance generally spans a 12-month period. Have we used all of the 12 months? Do we need to then carry some of that amount across into the following year? We need to follow up on any outstanding invoices that we may have. There may be a couple of clients out there who haven't paid us for any goods we've sold to them, some services we've sold to them. We want to make sure we get on top of those situations before the end of the year. We want to review our accounts payable and make sure that similarly that we've paid our bills. And this really helps us to avoid any last minute cash flow surprises. Talked about accruing expenses. So what we want to do is, if we're aware of any invoices that we haven't received, any costs, maybe for instance salaries, we know we've got to pay our salaries or any bonuses, we make sure we mark those entries into the accounts. For those business owners who sell goods, perhaps maybe we want to go through our inventory. We might have some obsolete items, some damaged items. Those need to be recorded and make sure that we've taken account of those. Do we have any items, any assets that we've purchased, computers, furniture, printers, any items that we're using in the business that we may need to depreciate? We want to make sure that we've charged the correct amount of depreciation into the books. And that will ensure that our books look well-rounded, are whole and complete. And then that gives us as business owners, as managers, a solid overview as to what the income and the expenses have looked like through the year. And then therefore we can begin to understand, has the business made a profit during that particular period? Income minus expenses is going to tell us whether we've been profitable or not. If we have made losses, how have those losses, what activities, what actions have generated those losses? Again, we need to sit down and review and analyze the business and really understand and use the accounting information to really understand what we've been up to and the actions that we can use and implement to make changes in the upcoming year.
Nice. All right, some people have dropped by. Finance IQ Cam, good morning. Hope you are fine and safe. Good morning. Hayden Morrison saying this topic to our community, I guess, is important to our community because most of our businesses don't realize the importance of the financial side of business. You were talking, here's a conversation piece I have. What key performance indicators should business owners evaluate before the year ends?
It's a great question. So there are a few. A couple of the important and key ones are gross profit. And that would be, gross profit is our income minus our cost of goods sold. So if we're selling sporting equipment, say, so we would look at all of the purchases of sporting goods equipment that we've made, everything that we're selling on. We would take our income minus our purchases, and that would leave us with an amount of money. And then that figure would be our gross profit. Now, this being one of the key metrics, because the gross profit needs to be sufficient enough to cover all of our operating expenses. So it's one of the key measures that's going to tell us whether the business ultimately is going to generate a net profit. And it's one of the metrics that we can use to determine, should we be increasing prices? and then that really gives us that insight, that knowledge to then determine what sort of discounts, if any, that we can offer potentially. So that's one of the key metrics. And then also net profit. So we're looking at income minus expenses. It's going to give us a net profit, hopefully. And then that figure divided by our income is going to tell us the percentage of net profit that we're obtaining after all of our expenses have been deducted. And again, this is one of those key metrics because we can then use that to give us an overview of where we are in our market. Are we doing better than our competitors? Are we not doing as well as our competitors? And really gives us some initial insights, showing us where perhaps we need to change behaviors, where we need to improve on perhaps what we're doing from an expense viewpoint. And again, one of those key metrics to tell us, do we need to actually increase our prices?
So I want people to listen here that, yes, Sean is a CPA, but as you notice, he's taking a whole business lens approach. So he's not just doing your taxes. No, he's saying, okay, is this good what you're doing with your business? Are the decisions that you're making you a profit? Because as I share with entrepreneurs, there's a difference between making a sale and making revenue. It's a big difference. Big difference.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask a part two of that then, because there's some questions coming already, especially from Wayne Harris. But then how can businesses effectively analyze their successes and challenges from the past year?
How can they, so would you say that again, Dr. Ryan?
How can businesses effectively analyze their successes and challenges from over this year?
Yeah. So using the financials will be a key indicator of successes purely from a financial viewpoint. So I'm going to answer this question in two ways. So there's two ways to look at it. There's the financial viewpoint. So are you as a business, being successful in terms of generating profits? So ultimately that's, the key aim of being in business is to, generate a profit. Otherwise it's a hobby if you're not profitable. So, using the financials are going to tell us, are we profitable? However, I'm going to couple that with what are your clients and your customers saying to you? So that customer feedback is going to be integral. And that's another integral component within the business. What are your customers saying to you? Are they enjoying the services that you're providing them? Are you providing, a high quality goods to them? Are they enjoying your, using the products that you're providing? Is it benefiting them? And is it fit for purpose for which they've purchased it from you? So there's actually, there's absolutely two ways to look at that in terms of, being successful. So success, yes, you got to be generating a profit. If not, as mentioned, it's a hobby. And I don't know anybody who's started a business because they wanted to put all of their money into something and for that to be a hobby. So we need to cover our costs, cover our expenses, and make some profit. And then on the flip side to that as well, hand in hand, what's the customer feedback that we're receiving? Are the customers that you're working with, are they happy to refer you and refer, your services? Do they talk about you? One of the key things, one of the key activities that I do, with clients is then ask them, do you know anybody who, or who do you know that would benefit from, the services that you're receiving?
All right, good stuff. Let's catch up with them. Comments. On Cam says context, personal situation, being on Canadian Disability and Self-Employed Ontario Disability Support Program does not practice GAA accounting principles, causes more paperwork and human errors. She says money, budget, save, investment, spent, pay off debt as fast as possible. Ontario Disability Support Program makes up their own rules. We've got Fitness IQ Cam. We already got that on. Okay, hold on. So let's move on here. Okay, we got Hayden. All right. So Ched C says, good morning. So Ched C says, good morning. Good to haven't seen you in a while. Wayne Harris has a question. He says, good morning, Dr. Vibe and Sean. What app should we use to inventory our expenses? Wave, Expensify, QuickBooks.
I'm sure the second one you mentioned isn't a tool I'm terribly familiar with, but Wave and QuickBooks do have inventory models, but again, one will need to look towards their business, their industry, and then utilize a tool that will best serve their particular purposes and their needs. One that is user friendly, and we shouldn't be making an industry of inventory. Yes, we want to ensure that we've got a solid report of the stock we have, but it shouldn't by any way or any means be an industry. So it shouldn't be too laborious, is what I'm attempting to say.
Okay. Wayne, you put up another question about car, and I don't see it in the comments. So can you repost it? I saw it. Okay, there we go. Leasing cars versus buying used cars as a business.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan of leasing. It's an expense that we can, it's an expense we can write off straight away. So then all of the expenses related to that vehicle, we're able to write off. So I'm definitely a lease fan.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. So we're chugging along. We've got here, Ange G says, good morning. Good morning, Ange G. And for everyone, we're hanging out with Sean De Freitas, CPA, talking about what business owners and managers need to do before the year ends and how to prepare for next year. So unless you have some more to share, I've got some more conversation questions.
Okay, I've got some.
Just go ahead. No, you do what you need to do, and I will fill in along the way. So go ahead.
So there was two bits just to wrap up the closing of the accounts. One was cash flow forecasting. I'm a big fan of cash flow forecasting. Cash flow is one of the big areas, or one of the main reasons why businesses fail. They just simply run out of cash. It's not that they don't have a brilliant business idea. There's strong demand for their product, their services, but because they haven't forecasted their cash flow, they end up running out of cash. So produce a cash flow forecast, understand the cash that the business is going to generate, what's coming into the business, understand the outflows, and then manage those. Where you can see there will be a time where you've got more cash exiting the business than coming in, then those are the times we need to prepare for, perhaps maybe a line of credit, perhaps obtaining a loan dependent upon what those expenses are, because there's particular expenses that we want to try and obtain loan financing for, and there are other types of expenses that we want to use lines of credit or overdrafts for. Typically, if we're acquiring assets, we want to tie those into loans if possible. But where we're using working capital, the things such as we've got a marketing campaign going on, we want to bring on board some sort of staffing, some particular expertise. Those are the sorts of expenses we want to use overdrafts and lines of credit for. But where we've got assets, we want to buy a building, we want to buy a motor vehicle, things of that nature, then we want to try and seek loans for. So, one of the things to in terms of finishing the year strong and planning for next year, cash flow forecasting. And then another thing from a taxation viewpoint would be deferring income. So if it is that a particular service or a particular good is not going to be issued in that particular calendar year, then we're able to carry that income over into the next year. And particularly if the business is cash based, we'll be able to utilize that in an effective way.
Anything else you want to add? Because I got some conversation pieces for you today.
Please, let's go with those.
Okay, so then, how should businesses set a realistic goal for the upcoming year? Realistic and achievable goals, because as I said, you're not just talking about time; you're talking about planning for next year.
Absolutely.
What suggestions do you put out there to business owners and entrepreneurs how to set realistic goals for next year?
One of the first things I do with business owners is want to understand what their vision for the business is. So, in 5 years from now, so, December 31st, 2028, whilst you're going to be bringing in the new year, what does your business look like? Where do you operate? Are you national? Are you international? If so, where are you? Are you selling to our noisy neighbors in the south? Are you selling to the Europeans? In Africa, have you set up trade and business within Africa? What does the business look like? How many employees do you have? Do you have 5 employees? Do you have 10 employees? Do you have 100 employees? What do you, as the business owner, what do you want this business to be known for? What do you want to be known as? Do you want to be known as, the number one supplier of pink boxing gloves, for instance? Do you want to be, the number one provider of mobile telephones? What is it that you want to be known for? Then once we've understood, that 5-year vision, then we can understand, okay, this is where we are today. So how are we going to actualize those goals? So then we'll put metrics in place in order to achieve that. So in terms of us looking at next year, we want to then say, okay, well, we've said this is where we want to be in 5 years. So during the next 12 months, I need to grow the business by 20%, say. So what does that mean? Does that mean you're going to need to, recruit another member of staff in order to do that? Does that mean that you're going to have to set up a number of strategic alliances with business partners? Say, for instance, you're selling flowers, you're a florist. Do you now want to set up relationships throughout the GTA with funeral homes, with wedding planners, with birthday planners? Perhaps those are some of the strategic alliances that you want to make, so that every time a funeral home, uses you or refers you, perhaps you're going to give them, a 5% fee or a 10% fee, whatever it is that you've decided or you agree upon. What do those particular strategic alliances look like? Do you now need to, work with individuals who grow flowers? Perhaps, you want to import tulips from Holland, say. So you're going to work with, some suppliers out in the Netherlands to ensure that around tulip time, you've got the freshest and the some great looking tulips, for instance. So, again, look to strategic alliances. So things of that nature.
Good stuff. We've got in the house. Haven't heard from a while. I am Danny Stone. Coach Stone is in the building, as he likes to say. Good to have you on. Yeah. I bet you haven't heard that in a while. You haven't heard that in a while. Yeah. So, people, if you want an amazing public speaking coach or business coach, I endorse. I am Danny Stone, Coach Stone, and his beautiful wife Trudy, culinary expert. Wonderful, wonderful African Canadian couple. Mignon,
they're amazing.
Yeah. Mignon Kez, what type of business do you specialize in? I found that I just can't hire any accountant out there, and many take on business that they don't understand, and it causes problems with CRA or disability.
Yeah, there are a lot of individuals out there who lack integrity. But for me, I pretty much specialize across the board, bar manufacturing. It's one of the areas that I've kind of stayed away from. So, and when I say manufacturing, sort of more complex manufacturing outlets. So what I do, I sit down with the business owner and I want to understand what it is that they're up to. Understand and really get a good overview of their business, and through that having conversations which then demonstrate the value that I'm going to add to the business, and how I then see the support that I'll be able to provide, and then help them to achieve their goals. Because number one, we've got to remain compliant. I see that as being one of the my prime functions and objectives. Keep you compliant, and then from that we want to understand and put a system in place where we can understand the numbers, we can understand our income and how that's being derived, and understand our expenses, and then setting some goals, putting metrics in place.
Good stuff. Coach Stone says, appreciate your brother just tuning in. Great content, Sean. Absolutely. Fitness IQ likes the question that Mignon Cam shared. Wonderful, wonderful. Another question I have. Okay. I got a lot of them here. So, how can businesses leverage technology to enhance their operations, in your opinion?
In a multiple ways. So, firstly, just not using technology for technology's sake. So, where business owners will see that it's going to save time, it's going to save on costs. So will this particular technology have the potential to eliminate and minimize processes? So one has to sort of sit down and really look at the business and understand what it takes, what's the flow through within the business. And by that, I mean, understanding from, say, for instance, a particular service, when the customer makes or initiates contact with your business, what are the steps that are taken within the business that then results in, something being given back to or delivered to the customer. So, there's lots of many AI tools. I'm still getting my head to grips with the variety of AI tools, but I do utilize quite a lot for myself. Chat GPT, it's a great writer. It gives you a great framework. It's not going to give you the entire content, but it definitely gives you a great framework and a lot of the elements that you can include, and then from there you go away and flesh things out. So yeah, really understanding the various processes and systems within your organization, and then using technology to either assist with those particular processes, maybe eliminate a particular process, and you can give that particular task over to some sort of tool or innovative technological solution.
You mentioned AI.
Mm-hmm.
How has it, if any, had any impact on the accounting world? from your lens?
For me, it's had a lot of impact. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because over the weekend, I saw on, is it Twitter or X? I think they're calling it now. Something that a tool, and I'm going to actually explore that when I've got some time during the week, that writes formulas. So, you know, you sort of say to the AI tool, look at this particular set of data. This is what I'm attempting to extract from the data, and then it will write formulas. So that's something that's brand new that I've come into contact with. But what I've been using Chat GPT for is to help me from, you know, to around communication. So it's really enhanced communication for me. And again, it's something I've used to give me a good overview of a particular scenario. So I will, you know, kind of dictate the scenario into Chat GPT, and then it will give me some insights and, you know, sort of remind me, have a look here, you know, there's this particular element that maybe, you know, you want to have a look at and include this as well.
Good stuff. But just resetting here with Sean De Freitas, CPA, talking about what business owners and managers need to do before the end of this year and how to prepare for next year. In most of the platforms that you're watching this live on the replay, I've put, if you want to get in contact with Sean, I put his email, but also put his email information on the screen that you can contact him if you wish to. I think it may not hurt, especially if you're Canadian based and you have your own business or you're an entrepreneur. I make a suggestion that you may want to reach out to him. Just a suggestion. I'm not telling you to do it, just a suggestion. Also want to talk about in regards to businesses and customer satisfaction, because you touched upon it a little bit earlier on. How critical should our businesses, especially our African Canadian businesses, take into account customer satisfaction?
It should be paramount. They should treat it, you know, as serious as a heart attack, in my opinion. Like, that is the, you know, the mouthpiece. And I'm not sure of the exact stats, but I want to say 2/3 of new business is from, you know, customers referring you. And then now, you know, for particular types of business, restaurants, you know, beauty, and, you know, the beauty industry. For instance, I recently moved from the west side of the GTA to the east side.
What? What?
Yeah, I've gone.
What? Hold on. Are you east of Yonge Street now?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Okay, we definitely got to talk offline, because there's no excuse now, because now you're close, because I know you used to be on the west side, and I think some people will know that for me to go past Yonge Street, I need a passport. So good, one less person I have to deal with. But no, go ahead. Jokes aside, go ahead.
So yeah, so you know, I needed someone to help me out with the beard from time to time. To you know, so the first place I've jumped onto is Google. You know, barbers near me, and I'm flicking through and I'm reading the reviews. And, you know, there's 1 and 2 places that have had less than favorable reviews. I avoid those, and then, you know, you're going to focus on the ones that have, you know, the 4-point odd rating. Similarly with, you know, restaurants, I'm sure everyone does this now. The first thing you look at the reviews. You look at, I found somewhere. The next thing, you want to read the last, you know, sort of 5 or 10 reviews, you know, to know, is this worthwhile? And it's just so quick and easy now.
Nice. Ched C says, excellent points. Thank you very much, Ched C, for your excellent comment. This is fantastic. So then, when you're working with businesses, what suggestions, what do you do to help them plan effective marketing strategies for the new year, if any come to you with that?
A few do. I think it's actually really a great time to talk about the Gold Pill Group, who I'm working with. And Gold Pill Group is a business solutions company dedicated to optimizing performance for you know, small, medium-sized businesses. We work with a lot of nonprofits, offering tailored advisory services, marketing being one of those. So we'll go in and we'll identify any inefficiencies. We want to turn challenges into opportunities for growth. We have a triage process which really helps businesses to uncover any gaps. And we really intend to drive improvement across areas such as marketing, finance. We provide help and expertise for grants and business strategy. So really want to help and support those sectors. So really going in and really focusing on areas such as marketing, and then through the triage process is really going to help us to come up with innovative approaches that will help businesses.
You mentioned the word grants.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Sean has spoken within the last few years, minimum 100, I'm going to say maybe 150
At least.
African Canadian businesses.
Yep.
There's a few conversation pieces I want to ask here.
Okay.
What percentage off the top of your head of these conversations with these owners said their business relies on grants?
For the not-for-profits, pretty much 99%. For the for-profits, grants have helped them to get that first step on the ladder, just to overcome that first rung on the ladder. But one of my conversations is, for a for-profit business, it's not something you can rely or depend upon. So, the business has to be, the activities that the business is involved in and what it generates, that's really, the resources from a financial viewpoint that you're going to be able to rely and depend upon. So grants for a for-profit business are not dependable. And yes, it's going to maybe be able to help you get, that step on the ladder. But it's not something you can rely on. And then similarly with the not-for-profits, at least 95%, but then you have to begin to develop your own, kind of fundraising activities, as well as, perhaps looking to sponsors and, particular benefactors.
I want to stay in this conversation for a bit, because it hurts me a little bit that people and profits and not-for-profits in the African community, and hey, people may push back on me on this by saying you can't live on grants.
No, you cannot.
And I just want people, and I'm glad I'm not the only one saying this. Sean's saying it too, that like grants, and from my lens, what I'm seeing, less and less opportunity for grants are being made available these days.
Yep. So
do you ever have to have that talk with some organizations and or businesses?
Yeah, very much so. It's actually a conversation I'm going to be having during this week in terms of really focusing on what activities from a fundraising viewpoint, are you undertaking? What activities are you undertaking looking for, corporate sponsors, donors of that sort, because the government, they chop and change, and it looks as if a new Canada possibly may have a new government in the not too distant future, and their mindset is going to be different from the present incumbents. So particular opportunities that are there today won't be there. So in the interim, or when that time arrives, you're going to have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet.
And and that's and this is why, again, a person like Sean, or if you work with someone like Sean, plan ahead.
Very much so.
Plan ahead. Sustainability. I know that's another thing. And Sean, I actually want you to chat about this. Having our business owners think about sustainability.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, very much so. So again, a little bit earlier, I talked about that. What is the business? What's your vision for the business? Where do you see this business in 5 years' time? So where you've got that very clear vision of what it is that you're up to and what you're attempting to achieve, then from there we're able to really, put in place a plan to ensure that that happens. So we're going to look at all of the various elements within that plan, from an income viewpoint, from revenue sources. Um, we want to have a diversity of revenue sources as much as we possibly can, and then really control and manage those expenses. Really looking very intensely at the expenses that the business is incurring. And really, you as a business owner should be justifying every dollar that goes out of the door, because a dollar that you're able to save is a dollar that you put directly back onto the bottom line. So, every dollar that leaves the business, you should understand why it's leaving the business, and understanding, is it essential that this particular cost is being incurred, and how can perhaps we save on that particular expense? Is there a supplier that we could work with who we could offer them exclusivity, and then perhaps maybe they're going to be willing to work with us on the price to save maybe 5, 10, 15%. And I've seen those sorts of savings where you work with a supplier and you work with them exclusively, and they're able to offer you like 12, 15% saving, because they know that they're going to have this future revenue stream working exclusively with you. So
Nice.
it should really be at the forefront of a business owner's mind in terms of that sustainability, and what does the 5-year plan look like?
Yeah. Minnie Young Cam says that's how it is with a disability. You can't live on disability, but disability programs do not practice GAA accounting principles. So I'm constantly in battle with them proving business.
Yeah.
Another conversation involves business and risk management. What potential risks should businesses prepare for, and how can they mitigate them?
One of the chief ones is operational. So looking at your business operation and then sort of saying, okay, if, for instance, the office, the office location or your production location, if that was not accessible, say for instance there was a fire in that particular location, where could you go to what other alternative locations could you use to continue operations? That's one of the first things to look at. So operational risks. Then we want to look at market risks. So looking at any pressures that may impact the market that could change. And absolutely you want to look at your customer base and ensuring that you've got a diversity of customers, that you're not relying on one or two clients for too large a percentage of your income. That one may be a little trickier, to increase that that diversity, but it's something that should be at the forefront of a business owner's mind, and something they're constantly attempting to mitigate.
Okay, good stuff. How can businesses ensure compliance with new regulations or industry standards?
Speaking to experts, so speaking to someone such as myself, reaching out and connecting with the Gold Pill Group, just really working with subject matter experts on particular areas. Again, from that mindset of wanting to say working, so you're not working in the business but you're working on the business, so you've got some particular experts that you can bring in, that you can parachute into the business to help explain what these new regulations are to you, and to explain how this will impact within your business?
I know that you've talked and shared with a lot of solopreneurs. Do you have any suggestions for the solopreneurs out there? Because a lot of the conversation has been with companies that are bigger than one, but there's still, especially in the African Canadian community, there's a lot of solopreneurs. What suggestions from your lens and your evaluated experience would you like to provide them?
Number one, that business vision. So sit down and really, have a clear vision as to what it is that you want this business to become. Where do you see yourself 5 years time from now? So again, I'm going to use that example of December 31st, 2028. What does your business look like? Where are you operating? How many employees do you have? What do you want to be known for? Are you national? Are you, operating within the province? What is it that you're attempting to achieve? Set goals, and just keep working towards those goals. So set the goals, set the targets, and keep working away. A lot of discipline. It's not easy. There's going to be pitfalls, going to be challenges along the way. It's not going to be plain sailing. And not that I'm a sadistic even, but you shouldn't want it to be plain sailing. You should want challenges along the way. You should want to be challenged, to be pushed, so you grow. If you're sitting down comfortably and everything's plain sailing, then something's wrong. Something, it should be, challenging. There should be difficulties. You should be uncomfortable. Then that's when you're growing, you're on the right path. If you're sat back, and everything's plain sailing, there's a problem.
Plain and simple. And I'm, as we start to wind it down, but there's some things I just want to touch on too. How can businesses identify new opportunities for growth and innovation?
That's a great question.
Once in a while, I have one.
Definitely by listening to your clients. So listening to your customers, listening to what they're telling you. So, I heard somebody. I actually think it was Ramsey, Gordon Ramsay, who was given, somebody was interviewing him, and he was saying he looks at the 1-star, 2-star comments, because those are the areas that he knows he needs to work on and improve on. So he doesn't want to hear from the, hey, this was, it was a wonderful experience, I had a great time, because that's not going to, challenge him. It's the 1-stars and the 2-star comments where, the customer was unsatisfied. So that pulls up, and uncovers those particular areas that needs to be focused on, and as well as keeping an eye on innovation and technology. So, again, what innovation can you introduce? What technology can you introduce to help you improve what it is that you're up to?
And I just add on to that, just get your thoughts on the importance of market research.
Oh, it's key. It's absolute key. So, a lot of business owners, there's a couple of ways people come up with business ideas. It's them attempting to do something, and there's no one out there that can provide that product or service. So that's a great way in terms of certain businesses that they come to life, and they're born. The other way is you thinking that you've got a great idea, you think you got a great service or a great product, but then you sit down with 50 people and then you ask them, would you buy this particular product? Would you take on board this particular service? So and it's again one of the questions I ask business owners in terms of what research have you done? Have you spoken to 50 people about this? Have you asked them, for feedback about it? Because this might be a great idea to you, but is there any, is there a market actually out there for this? So, doing that initial research uncovers, a lot. And again, it gives you those areas that you can use to then improve, the service or the products that you're utilizing. That you're offering.
Well, Sean, my man, I know you got things to go to. You got people to help and serve. So I think we'll call it a wrap for today. But I want to say first and foremost, thanks for taking the time to share with our family today.
You're very welcome, and thank you. I've really enjoyed being a guest on your show, Dr. Vibe, and I hope this will be, the first of many.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And if people want to get in touch with Sean, again, there's his email address on most of the platforms that you're watching this live or on the replay. It's in the comments section. Any final comments you have for us today, Sean?
Just really want to encourage everybody, just keep working hard. It's, as a business owner, as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, it's not easy. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not meant to be easy. Just really got to, double down, just don't give up, keep learning, keep working hard. Just don't give up. There's lots of help out there. There's lots of help and support. And I'll be happy to work with you to show you and direct you on that road.
Just before that, how important how important is it for business owners to ask for help?
Very important. Very, very important. It's something I actually, still to this day, I have not so much an issue with, but, you kind of want to be seen as, I don't know if it's a male thing, a super soldier, a warrior, you want to but you can't achieve everything on your own. You will not accomplish your goals working on your own. You've got to put a team around you. You set objectives, make sure the objectives are clear, communicate clearly, and then hold those individuals accountable, for what it is that they need to deliver upon. But you've really got to ask for help, because you won't be able to do this on your own.
So before I let you go, I had a week ago today, I had Chris Beth Cowie on. I know you know Chris Beth.
I do. He's awesome.
And I asked her, if you're a business owner, who's the first person you should hire? What do you think she said?
An accountant. I hope she said that.
And I said, ironically, a week from today, which is today, we have Sean De Freitas. He goes, he's awesome. So that I want to leave that with a smile on your face, as always, to you and your family. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourselves grace.
Thank you, Dr. Vibe. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, family. Hope that you enjoyed today's conversation. I did. I hope you did. And we're working on potentially having Sean come on a more regular basis. He's got a lot of good value to add. Here we go. The McMillan Group, good to see you, says, good morning, great conversation. Thanks for sharing your insights, Sean. I need to have Sean meet Wayne Harris. I need to have Sean meet Ray McMillan. Not just digitally, but we have to do it in person. But Ray, good to see you as always. Minnie on Cam, what gig economy workers they are not adding on employees? I need more clarification on that statement. But when I'm going to see if Sean can come back, but if we can get some more clarification on that, that would be outstanding. So that is it today, everybody. Another episode is in the books. So let's get some things going here before we shut it down today. So first things first, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I want to say a big thank you. We've hit 1,560 subscribers on YouTube. So our next goal is 1,570. Doing it in small increments. Yard by yard, too hard, inch by inch, a cinch. I know I'm in Canada, supposed to talk metric, but if I said centimeter by centimeter is easy, I don't know what the next thing of that, but you know what I'm talking about. advertise your business product or service on our platform, any of the platforms I'm a part of, email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group and email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. So also, you can watch replays of the Dr. Vibe Show on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Afro Caribbean Business Work. I was going to say workbook. Afro Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. So coming up on Friday, we will have Minnie on cam. She'll be on cam with us on Friday. And hope you have a fantastic week. Hope you have a lot of good things planned. I got a few more comments here. Let's get them in here. Sean and I have had several conversations. Great guy, quite sharp. He and Steph chat on occasion. There you go. That's a beautiful thing. Excellent. That is great. That is great to hear. That is great to hear. Good people. So let's close it out. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. God bless, peace, well, keep the faith, and walk good.